to be here. I'm deeply happy and honored to come back to my school. And thank you so much, Father Nihal, for that very long, very detailed, but very lovely introduction, which you just gave as well. So, as Father was saying, he asked me to speak when we accidentally, or we maybe intentionally, as it was supposed to be, met each other at the cathedral one Sunday recently, and I could not say no. I could not say no. The reason I could not say no is because this school means a lot to me, and it has been really crucial, really important in making me the person that I am, and also determining, kind of making it possible for me to go on from one thing to the other. Father gave a detailed description of the various things that I have done, and really I couldn't have taken all of those steps from step 1 to step 2 to step 3 and become a professor at the University of Cambridge without St. Thomas's Prep. So I arrived in this school in 1983 to grade 1, and Miss Charika Mutaya, who's still around, who I know, was my teacher when I was in grade 1 down there, where we still have grade 1. I think I was in grade 1B. And then I left the school in 1992. 1992 was the last year of the headmastership of Mr. J.S.L. Fernando. Mr. J.S.L. Fernando, I believe, has been the longest serving headmaster of the school, and so it was a very special year to leave the school because it was the end of a whole period, a whole era, a whole chapter was coming to an end of the school as we left the school in 1992. So as I stand on the stage, and I went for a little walk earlier and met lots of the wonderful teachers, all kinds of memories come back to me. On this stage, we sang, we danced, we went in and out of those entrances on the side, performing Hevasi band or Western music or all kinds of dramas, all kinds of debates, all kinds of speeches. In fact, I think I made a speech at the prize giving because I was school captain, standing somewhere like here. And I also made a speech when Mr. J.S.L. Fernando retired as headmaster. So Father Nihal has asked me to give you some advice. And so what I'm going to do, because so that we can all pay attention, is that I'm going to organize my advice under 3 headings. So I'm going to give you 3 basic pieces of advice. And you can think about it later, and hopefully you remember, because I will use 3 headings. And these are my main points. So firstly, I want to say, value the school. That's my first point. Value the school. So St. Thomas's Prep is a really special school. Now, I have to remember some difficult moments because, I came to this school in 1983. And 1983 was a very bad year in the history of our country because there was a lot of violence on the streets between different communities, between Sinhalese communities, Tamil communities, other communities. It went in various different directions. There was a lot of trouble. And also throughout the schooling that I had at St. Thomas's Prep, there were actually periods where we had to just shut the school down because it was unsafe to meet, there were hartals, or there were various other events, which meant that we couldn't have the school here. And so what we did was we used to come to the gate, and our teachers would give us like lesson plans, which we could take home, and we would have to do the work at home, and then bring the work to school because it was not safe, and it was not a good idea to come to school because it was a very bad period in the school, in the history of the country. But the point is, the teachers of the school just kept teaching. There were these difficult times, these troubled times, but the teachers just kept teaching, and they kept inspiring the students, and they were just devoted to the students. And so actually I remember all of their faces. A lot of them are no longer sadly with us, but a few of them, Miss Lodwan Viratunga, for instance, plays the organ at the cathedral, and I mentioned, who I met the other day, even as I met Father Nihal, and she phoned me recently as well, so she remembers that time. And also Ms. Charikai mentioned, but all the teachers, Ms. White, Ms. Carmen Pereira, etc. Ms. Dias, for instance, who was here for a long time, is still here and helps run the Saraswati bookshop now. But the point I'm making is that there were lots of teachers who were very committed to the school and who kept teaching in a very difficult time, and that made the school special. That made the school special. So I'm still on my first point, value the school. And I'm saying that the teachers made the school special. School by the sea on one side as well. Father mentioned that my work has been involved a lot with thinking about the sea. And actually, I wonder whether the reason for that is because the school is by the sea. And so the sea also influenced me because you were always aware that the sea was there. So the point I'm making is that you should value the school and you should be thankful to be a member of it because of the teaching you received and receive, and because it's like a family. Second point is, so the first point is value the school. The second point is remember that you are here to learn. Remember that you are here to learn. Now, the school has taken learning and education very seriously. So it's always been very into education and learning. One only has to go to those prize givings to see how much effort goes into the prize givings and the giving of prizes and the awarding of honors to students. So I want to tell you a story. Recently, I had the privilege of walking around Keble College at the University of Oxford. So Keble College is at the University of Oxford. And you can go online and you can look and search for pictures later of Keble College at the University of Oxford. Keble College was founded by the maternal great-uncle of W.T. Keble. W.T. Keble, you will know, I think, founded St. Thomas's Prep. So W.T. Keble's relative founded Keble College in Oxford. And W.T. Keble actually went to Keble College before coming to Sri Lanka. So really the point is that there is a very close relationship between one of the main colleges at the University of Oxford and St. Thomas's Prep. So because of the Keble connection, actually the University of Oxford and St. Thomas's Prep have a close relationship, a historical relationship. Now maybe I'm a bit of a traitor, I was thinking, because I didn't go to, I went to the University of Cambridge, as Father Nihal said, and the University of Cambridge is the rival of the University of Oxford. It's a bit like going to Royal College, right? Instead of St. Thomas's College. So maybe I did the wrong thing because, there is this relationship between St. Thomas's Prep and Oxford College. But anyway, the point I'm making is that there is this very strong academic university tradition here, which goes to the best universities in the world from St. Thomas's Prep. So I would never have dreamed, when I was here sitting like this, we used to sit on the ground actually here at the front when we were your age. We used to sit on the ground, there were no chairs. So we all were on the ground and used to be like cross-legged at the front. And then only like the older boys used to have chairs, I think at the back. And so when I was sitting here, I would never have imagined that I would go to the University of Cambridge or that I would be Tamil medium. I was the single medium, which is always confusing because my name is Sujit Sivasundaram. All the teachers used to say, are you the wrong medium? Are you should be the Tamil medium? But actually no, I was the single medium because my mother's Sinhalese. And so we always used to make friends with the Tamil medium children and the single medium children. And so as you learn deeply from the heart, all these barriers, all these differences, all these misunderstandings, all the differences in the world fall apart. And so really I want to encourage you to take your learning seriously. And remember that there will soon come a time where you can't learn in school. And so this is the time to learn because you won't have the chance as much because life gets very busy to learn later. So that's my second point. First, value the school. Second, remember that you are here to learn. Remember that you're here to learn. The third point is remember that you are learning to be Sri Lankan citizens. Remember that you are learning to be Sri Lankan citizens. Now, the thing about St. Thomas's Prep is, yes, we were very into books and education, but we were also into cricket, we were also into football, we were also into debating, we were into music, and the all-rounded person was something that was very important in the type of education that the school gave. Now I remember before this whole area was developed, we didn't have these tall buildings, by the way, next door. There were no tall buildings on either side of the school. And there was no, the hotels were different. So for sports meet, we used to march from here to where one golf is, because there was a stadium there that we used for the sports meet. And we used to have to march perfectly in line, in discipline, and the sports meet was taken very seriously. I had to carry the school flag. I'm not very good at marching, I think, and I found that a bit difficult. But I had to march in time at the sports meet. And so the point I'm making is that discipline, all-rounded character, being interested in lots of things beyond your books is also part of it. And as Father said, in our year, we founded Prep News because we wanted people to exchange ideas. We wanted, we were aware that there were all these differences in the country. We wanted to come together across our differences. And that's one of the reasons we founded Prep News. With the whole school, different mediums, different classes contributing. So the point I'm making here is we want all-rounded people to be future Sri Lankan citizens. If we are to be responsible citizens, if we are to be kind, if we are to be honest, if we are to know how to make a decision, know how to handle money, to know how to be inclusive, to bring people together, then regardless of caste, creed, religion, or ability, then we need to have that all-rounded education here at St. Thomas's Prep to be future Sri Lankan citizens. So those are my 3 pieces of advice. I'm coming to an end now. I'm just going to repeat. Value the school. Remember that you are here to learn, and remember that you are learning to be Sri Lankan citizens, all-rounded Sri Lankan citizens. Is with you for the rest of your life. There really is there's no place like St. Thomas's Prep. And there are Prepites all over the world who will agree with that. But from those to whom much is given, much is required. So this is a very special place. So when you go from here, please contribute, please give back to the school, give back to the country, give back to other human beings from what you have learned and experienced at the school by the sea, so that you can cherish the school in the years that lie before you. Do you remember that phrase? Cherish the school in the years that lie before you. It's from the school anthem. So I wish you all the best for your education, and thank you so much for listening very much.